Good morning. I am just about to slice up some sourdough bread for breakfast. There it is. So I'll have this bread sitting here when the kids come for breakfast. They can grab a piece and toast it. I also have, so last night I made what I thought was a big batch of sourdough English muffins. Okay, it was a big batch. It was a double batch, but we ate most of them at supper and there's only 3 left. But if someone wants to have an English muffin instead of this bread, that's fine too. I think I'm going to stop there for now. I slice them in half so that they're easy to toast. And then I just finished my workout. I need to go have a shower, and the kids will likely be eating breakfast when I come back down here. We've also had eggs the last couple of days. I've got some fried eggs left over there. And then with our English muffins last night, I made these scrambled eggs. Lots of good stuff in there. There's like leftover taco meat and pepperoni, tomatoes, peppers, onions, cheese. These were delicious last night, but there are a couple of egg options to be warmed up as well. Look at us all having breakfast together. You guys aren't usually down here all at the same time, but today we are. Toast. The kids have a little banana with peanut butter. Wesley decided on the eggs. Nobody else wanted eggs this morning. You can use your knife too, Wes, or do you want me to help you slice your eggs? Eggs are a little bit tricky.
I need to slice them. I can just slice it with my fork.
Slice it with your fork. Sure, that works. I tried to make myself a smaller smoothie today than I usually do so that I could eat some eggs as well. So in my smoothie I have some mixed berries, almond milk, cottage cheese, and then my protein powder, collagen powder. I talk about this smoothie a lot because I do have it for breakfast. I would say at least 4 or 5 days a week. And then I also fried myself 3 eggs. One of them is left over. Can you tell which one is left over? I tried to disguise. They all look pretty similar. But just fried in butter and then pepper on top. Lots of protein, lots of goodness. Today's breakfast. Just poured myself my morning coffee. Got the kitchen basically cleaned up. Still some things to dry over there. Also took out meat and beans from the freezer for tonight. They can sit on the counter and defrost all day, and it's time to go sit down and educate my children. I went to Costco. Well, this was like probably 2 months ago now, but I bought a huge case of these rolls. They're ciabatta buns, and they sell them in a big old case. I don't remember the number. It was like 150 of these or something. So many. I divided it up into probably 6 big Ziploc bags. And so now what I do once a week or so, I just take out a bunch of these, lay them on a pan, and I do need to think ahead because they should defrost and rise for about 4 hours. And then after they have doubled in size, I stick them in the oven, 400 degrees for 20 minutes, but they just taste like fresh dinner rolls because, I mean, they are fresh. It's just frozen pieces of dough here. So these will bake like mid to late afternoon, and they will be fresh and warm to go with our soup for dinner. You saw earlier this morning for breakfast we had sourdough bread, and so now this morning I have been working on making another loaf of sourdough. So I make sourdough bread, let's see, for sure, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week, maybe more, depending how many days a week we have bread on the menu. So I've been doing stretch and folds here. My dough at the end it's so stretchy. The stretch and folds are actually kind of fun. I do these every half hour, basically every half hour, 5 times. So that's my 5th stretch and fold. This will sit for probably 3 or 4 hours now before my next step. And now it is time to prep some lunch. I was at Costco a few days ago and I bought naan bread, I bought hummus, I bought sugar snap peas. So we're gonna have that for lunch. Oh, I bought apples. We'll do apples for lunch too. I think we'll peel and chop some carrots into carrot sticks. One of our favorite lunches, naan bread and veggies dipped in hummus. I got a new flavor of hummus that we haven't tried before, so I'll show you that process. No, it's not chocolate. What are you talking about?
We had chocolate hummus.
We have had chocolate hummus before. It's not chocolate hummus. Yeah, we've had it and we dipped like fruit in it.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite a while ago. This is the naan bread we use. I think it's about $5, maybe $4.50 at Costco for 12 of these. And these are so versatile. Sometimes I will make pizzas. We love that. Or I will just butter them and put them in the oven, get them warm, and we'll have them with soup. So many things to do with these, but for today, I'm going to butter them first, sprinkle a little bit of salt on them, and then they go into the oven. I do about 375, maybe actually I'm gonna do 400 degrees for about 6 to 8 minutes until they're just a little bit brown, just getting a little bit crispy. These are buttered and salted now and ready to go into the oven. Zara and I are working together. She's peeling the carrots and I am chopping them. We have this container over here. I don't know if you can see it. She's peeling into because we cook chicken every week. So for the week in between cooking chicken, I keep a container in the fridge full of any carrots, onions, garlic, celery, any ends or peels, because then after I cook chicken, I make a chicken stock and I dump in all those scraps. This is the hummus we're gonna try. It's salt and vinegar hummus. Sounds interesting, doesn't it?
I'm cutting the naan bread. And we're gonna be having hummus and apples and veggies today. And
good. Your R can be a little bit taller, like the W.
it's fine.
It's okay.
No.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Make sure they're all about the same height, right? Because they're all lowercase letters.
Except the T.
Yeah, that's right.
I really like pita chips. Hummus.
Is it one of your favorites?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this is a lunch that everybody enjoys. And there's a look at lunch all ready to go. It's been exactly 4 hours since I last showed you these buns. They have risen nicely, so I'm going to bake them now. We have some of these. These are from Costco. They're like a vegetable chip. Here are the ingredients on the back here. Sweet potato, batata, whatever that is, canola oil, sunflower oil. I know, not great ingredients. Sea salt, beet juice concentrate. So there's a bunch of different flavors. The kids have also been eating apples and peanut butter, bananas and peanut butter. Yes, my kids do eat a lot of fruit. And yeah, they love apples dipped in peanut butter right now. So we go through our fruit so fast. They had fruit at breakfast, fruit at lunch, maybe even fruit for a morning snack. We eat a lot of fruit. And you know what? Why don't you get a bowl and pour these into a bowl instead of just... Do you want to do that, Wesley? Go find a bowl to put these in. I'm going to try one of these.
I know a bowl.
One more thing I was going to say. That hummus at lunch, I didn't think it was the best hummus. It was okay. I had forgotten. I also, that brand, what is that brand? Summer Fresh or something? It's not my favorite texture of hummus. I've tried other flavors from that brand, and the texture is just not as good as other hummuses. And I didn't think the flavor was great. And I sat down at lunch and said, oh, this hummus isn't my favorite. And 3 of the kids piped up, this hummus is so good, we love it. So It's not always going to be the same for everybody. Some of the kids loved that hummus. Yeah, that's a great bowl. And then you can pour the chips into it, okay? I was watching somebody's YouTube video during the quiet time this afternoon. Actually, somebody's video filming what I eat in a day, so just like my video today. Anyway, they were eating a can of tuna, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. I do have 1 can of tuna in the pantry. So I opened up a can of tuna, drained it. All I put in there was mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. And then another recent Costco find. I have not opened these and tried them yet, but Cedar Valley pita chips, garlic and herb. Really simple and good ingredients. It has unbleached, enriched wheat flour, water, coconut oil, sea salt, dehydrated garlic, herbs, and yeast. Am I showing it? Yeah, right there. So coconut oil, what recipes use coconut oil instead of seed oils? Almost none, so I thought this would be something good to try. Okay, here's how they look. Just putting a little bit of tuna onto each one. Oh. These just came out of the oven. The only thing funny about them is they often have this spot at the top. It's almost like it's freezer burn. I don't know why that happens, but they taste so good still. You don't notice anything funny, but yeah, if you were bringing it to an event or something, you might feel a little bit funny about how the buns look. But they taste great. I'm gonna start prepping dinner. I forgot to look at my phone one more time so I can tell you what the name of this recipe is. It's called... okay, hearty Tuscan white bean soup. It's on this website called Kale Junkie, so it is a vegetarian meal. I am not making it vegetarian though, I'm going to add beef. So the reason I started looking for a recipe is because I had a meal plan ready for today and I was gonna make a soup that had sausage and spinach. So I bought a big bag of spinach from Costco when I was there a few days ago. And I was looking at their sausages because I like to buy sausages there, but they were all out of their mild sausage. All they had was their hot sausages. And I thought, no, I'm not gonna do that to my family. Some of us would like it, some of us would not. And so I thought, back to the drawing board. What am I gonna make for dinner? But I did get that spinach. And you might be thinking I should have just substituted sausages for ground beef in that same recipe, but I just didn't feel like it. That recipe works so well with sausage, and I just think it wouldn't be the same with beef. So I found a different recipe. I basically just looked up ground beef, white beans, spinach. That's what I looked up. I didn't find many options. I don't know why, but there weren't many recipes on Google with those ingredients, but I found one. I'm gonna mostly follow it, but add ground beef. There are a couple different things it says in the recipe. Like one thing it says is to puree part of your veggies and stuff. I don't really think I'm gonna do that. I'll just leave it a nice brothy soup. The first thing to do is saute my carrots, my onions, as well as the ground beef in some olive oil. I do a lot in my kitchen, so sometimes I feel like my kitchen is just so packed. My counters are all covered right now. I have minimal space and I do a lot of work in here. So just got the next step of my bread done. So that's gonna go into my floured basket and it will bake tomorrow morning. Just a second, my dear. And then I'm gonna add my veggies and ground beef into this pot here. I added some Italian seasoning and now just a pinch. Can I put just a pinch of red pepper flakes in by pouring? Okay, I think that's a pinch. Oh, I also added garlic powder and I think I'll add salt and pepper too. I just took a taste test of this broth and it is so tasty. I mean, a big part of that is because I used my homemade chicken stock, which is just so flavorful as is. I didn't have enough stock on hand for all of this. So I did add some water and then some of my chicken bouillon substitute too. If you want, I'll link that recipe down below. If you want just a kind of healthy alternative to buying store-bought bouillon, or a cheaper option than buying chicken stock, it's just nutritional yeast with some other spices like garlic powder, salt and pepper. I don't remember anymore what else is in it, but I put some of that in to kind of make up for the lack of stock I had. But that broth tasted so good. I'm gonna bring this to a boil and then I'm gonna add the spinach. Also, I am reheating, oh, it looks like it's ready. Reheating some coffee for myself. I poured my coffee. I filled it a little too full, but I am going to sip this coffee as I finish prepping dinner. I was gonna quickly mention too, I showed those dinner rolls that were made. I was gonna say I made them, but I had a hard time saying I made them because I just reheated them. But those dinner rolls that came out of the oven, if I do, I don't even know on the side with the soup if I will have any bread, but if I do, I'm just gonna have a piece of my sourdough bread or an English muffin. Of course, anybody has that choice. If the kids or my husband want to have sourdough bread or buns, whatever they want, I know my kids will gravitate towards these buns, but I would choose having sourdough rather than that if I do. The soup looks like it's going to be really filling as is, and doesn't need bread, although my kids, if we're having soup, they love having bread with it. And the soup is just about ready. I want the spinach to wilt just a tiny bit more, but then it'll be ready to serve. I thought we would do Parmesan cheese on the soup. I've been in a pretty good pattern of not having evening snacks lately. This time of year, we're just able to eat dinner at 6 o'clock almost every night. Like right now, it's gonna be 6:15 by the time we sit down to eat. And so that works well because then I just fill up at dinner and I don't need a snack in the evening. If I am hungry, absolutely, I don't like deprive myself. I will have a snack, but usually I can have a good supper and not snack later on, and I prefer that. I like to just be done at dinner and have a space of no eating before going to bed. So that's the plan for tonight. Often in the evenings, I'll have either a sparkling water or a tea, so that might happen later on. But for now, time to serve dinner.